Welcome back to Greek with Wittenberg Academy. This is the first lesson in Greek 2, and this is lesson 15 in Gleason's Greek Primer. So, lingual stems of the consonant declension. So, this third declension of nouns. Some of them have liquid or what we would maybe call dental stems. That is, their stem ends in tau, delta, or theta, and then this causes different elisions, different losses of those letters based on what letters in the ending are being added to the base. And so simply look at the declension for ornis, a bird, ornis. So you can see the endings are what you would expect, right? So in the nominative is sigma, and then os, e, n, and then we're not doing the vocative. And then the plural, s, on, c, os. Now, what is different? Well, adding an n to a th is not something that Greek likes to do. So in the accusative singular, and likewise adding a sigma to a dental is not something Greek likes to do. So in the nominative and accusative singular, the stem of the theta drops out. And then likewise again in the dative plural, there's the sigma again, so the dental drops out. Same thing with elpis. Hey, elpis, hope. So the endings, sigma, and then os, e, a, s, on, c, os. So normal endings, but again, the same thing happening with adding your endings. Now, what's different between? Look at the accusative singular. In the accusative singular, ornis uses one of the options for the third declension, which is a nu, but elpis uses the other, which is an a. So you simply need to learn those as you learn them. When you note this when you learn the vocabulary word, what this ending is. But again, it should not throw you, because you know that in the accusative singular of the third declension, the ending is either a nu or an alpha. Okay. And in the middle there, you see we're going to learn a demonstrative pronoun, hutos. That means this. And so in the masculine, it's hutos, tutu, tuto, tuton, hutoi, tuton, tutois, tutus. Means this or these. And then you see in the neuter, just like you would expect, it's different in the nominative and the accusative, singular and plural, but similar. The feminine form is haute, but they're not giving us that just yet. All right, so review these. I would make a card for, a full paradigm card for all of these: ornis, elpis, hutos, leon, tuta, and soma, just to begin to get that. At the bottom of page 49, notice that the demonstrative pronoun hutos, that's a rough breathing mark, that's hard to see, but it's a rough breathing mark, is used with the article, but does not, like an adjective, ever stand between article and noun. This is called the predicate position. So hutos always the noun that hutos modifies will always have the article, but it can never stand between the article and the noun. So that's a rule maybe to note in your vocabulary card. If hutos, haute, tuta, if that word, that demonstrative, is modifying a noun, that noun must have the article, but hutos can never stand between the article and the noun. All right, page 50. That's more business. He's explaining to you why these changes are taking place. Read through that if that's helpful for you, great, but you just need to memorize how they actually appear. Vocabulary. He elpis, elpidos, is hope. Ha leon is lion. He nux is night. Ta anima is name. And remember, for all these, you need to put the genitive singular on the vocabulary card. Ha ornis or he ornis. Ta soma is body. Ha fugas is unexiled, as in a person who has been exiled. He phone, voice. Hutas haute tuta, demonstrative pronoun, means this. And then in parentheses there's 696. So section 696 in the back of the book will have the full paradigm for you. I'm just trying to find out what page that is on. It is on page 261. So you can take a look at the different demonstrative pronouns and how they are declined. Chalapas, or it's an adjective, three termination adjective. So chalapas, chalape, chalapon means hard, severe, or rough. Heko, whose future is hekso, means to come or almost have arrived, or I am here. Sometimes is how it's translated. And sun takes the dative, and it means with. So in your vocabulary, you need to note that it takes the dative and that it means with. We'll work out the translations for yourself, 1 through 10, and then start the tape back up for your corrections. Sentence 1. Hemeras kai nuktas deca epilon lithos tain di oruka. For 10 days and nights. That's the accusative of the extent of time. For 10 days and nights, they threw stones into the ditch. And Ebalon, of course, is aorist. Hoigar ton fugadon huioi tacheos hekon estan komen. 4. The sons, hoi huioi, for the sons, tu fugadon, of the exiles, quickly, hekon, came into the village. Hekon is imperfect, right? Imperfect of heko. 3. Kai hutoi hoi stratiotai esan en elpisi kalais tes nikes. And these soldiers were, so simple basis to your sentence, and these soldiers were in hope, in good hopes of victory. And these soldiers were in good hopes of victory. 4. Allah u kikanoi esin dioken tus palamius ek tu choriu. Well, so it's a continuation of the last sentence. But they were not sufficient, hikanoi. They were not sufficient, they were not able, dioken, to pursue the enemy out of the plain, out of the countryside. 5. Hoida palitai sun tois technois eutis hexusin epiton pataman. But these citizens, with the children, will immediately come into the river, to the riverside. 6. Hutas ha satrapes en Perses onamaxerxes. This satrap was Persian. Name Xerxes. So Xerxes by name. The use of the accusative there. 7. Kai tete reukasi leontas hoi ektes komes neaniai. So the young men from the village, what did they do? They have hunted lions. So tete reukasi is very obviously perfect tense, with the reduplication, the kappa, etc. 8. Kai metaton ornithon heuran aligus perdikes. And with the birds, they found a few doves. Partridges, I suppose. Heuran, that's the irregular third principal part of heurisko, to find. 9. Mikragar ekan somata, alhai kafale makrai esan. 4. They were having small heads, for they had small heads, but, or bodies, for they had small bodies, getting ahead of myself, but the heads were large. I suppose we're talking about the birds. And then 10, you can find all the vocabulary. What's very good, I should have warned you about this before you attempted sentence 10. See if you can just scan this, and whether you know the vocabulary or not, do you know what tense all these verbs are? Right? So you recognize that it's aorist, and then thaumases is future, and then elalikes is pluperfect, pinomen is present, klepte is present, heore is aorist, irregular aorist, and papaikata or papaikata is perfect. So that's when he gives you those lists of verbs like that, just see if you can figure out what tense they are first. Because it's easy to look up vocabulary words. I mean, you're going to have, well, if you look at eripsa, you may have a hard time remembering that that's from ripto, and that in the dictionary it doesn't start with an epsilon, it starts with a rho. But by this point, hopefully, if you're studying those cards, the tense of a verb is going to jump out at you. Well, that will do it for lesson 15. So work on that. We'll get a quiz up here by the end of the week, and then you'll be ready for lesson 16.